Hello and welcome to the SPR600 individual presentation. My name is Ilya Gurevich, and today I'll be talking about the Kaseya VSA ransomware attack that occurred on July 2nd of 2021. What we'll be talking about today is a bit of a background about the company involved in the attack, the overview of the timeline of the incident, and the perpetrators involved in the attack. Furthermore, we'll be going over the ransomware itself and how it managed to spread and infect the machines involved in this incident. With that being said, let's begin with the background. So let's begin by talking about the company involved in the incident and who they are exactly. Kaseya Limited. So Kaseya Limited is a multinational IT software management company who has around 13 other companies branching out from its umbrella tagline. What they do exactly is develop IT software solutions to small to medium-sized businesses. Primarily, they offer network monitoring and management tools to companies that are called Managed Service Providers, or MSPs for short. One of these products that they offer MSPs is something called a Virtual System Administrator, or VSA. What it is a remote monitoring and management software package that these MSPs use to manage other companies and their networks. As such, they have a lot of outreach in many different industries. And as such, they're found all over the world, including Dublin, Ireland, and Miami, Florida. And there's around 40,000 organizations who use at least one Kaseya product. Now we've covered the background of Kaseya Limited, we're now going to talk about the incident timeline and what has transpired during the ransomware attack. So it all began on July 2nd of 2021. When was Kaseya detected an attack that had occurred to several small and medium-sized companies that were using their product. As such, they found out that the attack was coming from their VSA software package, and as such, they had to promptly shut down all the VSA cloud servers and other SaaS servers as a precaution to make sure the ransomware was not getting to other companies using their product. The very next day, Kaseya actually came forward with the attack and made everybody know that they were a victim of a ransomware attack. The following day, a ransomware group based in Russia claimed ownership of the attack by posting about it on their online forums. On July 5th, Kaseya's CEO officially stated that between 800 to 1,500 downstream businesses were impacted as a result of the ransomware attack. And as such, other organizations were targeted too, such as the United States institutions and even individuals within the United States. On July 6th to July 7th of 2021, Kaseya started to implement additional security layers to their SaaS infrastructure in order to upgrade the security of their cloud services. All of this would end up boiling down to international conflict because on July 9th of 2021, the United States President Joe Biden began to pressure Russian President Vladimir Putin to crack down on cyber criminals operating within Russian borders, as within this time, Russia did very little to crack down and prosecute any criminals who were attacking United States companies from within their borders. So now we fast forward to July 13th of 2021, when suddenly the ransomware gang involved in the attack completely vanished off the face of the internet. All their websites, blogs, and public network infrastructures that they might have once had are completely scrubbed clean off the face of the internet. Despite this, the perpetrators involved in the attack are still yet to be caught. 10 days later, on July 23rd, Kaseya would acquire a decryption key from an unidentified third-party source, which many would begin to speculate how Kaseya managed to get in contact with this individual and how this individual managed to acquire this universal decryption key for this ransomware. Regardless, within 3 days, Kaseya would begin testing this decryption key, and on July 26th, they would state that the decryption key had a 100% effectiveness rate, and as such, they were able to decrypt all the affected files that the ransomware attackers managed to infect, and as such, no ransom was needed to be paid. As that being said, on July 26th, 2021, the VSA ransomware attack was over. However, the manhunt for the perpetrators involved still continued. On November 8th, the United States government indicted 2 Ukrainian/Russian nationals who were directly linked to the attack. And the Ukrainian national, was captured in Poland that same very day. And very recent, 2 days prior to this recording, on January 14th of 2022, the Russian authorities managed to apprehend and arrest the latter criminal and dismantle the gang operations permanently. And as such, the criminal organization ceased to exist from that day on. So now we're going to talk about who the perpetrators were and their involvement with this specific ransomware attack. So the group that was identified in this incident was called Revil, which existed between 2019 to early 2022. They're also known by their alias as Ransomware Evil, and they primarily operated as a ransomware as a service game. What this means is that contractors would hire them to commit ransomware attacks, and any portions that they got from a ransom would be given to those contractors. They mainly operated within the safety of Russia, as the Russian authorities at the time did very little to actually stamp out any cybercriminal activities within their borders. However, they still had affiliates in other Eastern European countries such as Ukraine, Poland, etc. That being said, they mainly targeted individuals and organizations in Western countries such as Sweden, United Kingdom, and the United States. The two main individuals who led this group were identified as Yaroslav Vysynsky and Yevgeny Polyanin, who was wanted by the FBI for committing this attack. That being said, the latter one was found with 426 million rubles, which is about $7 million worth of Canadian money, as well as about $630,000 worth in Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And just for reference, that is how much they found within Polyanin's apartment when they raided his complex. So now that we've covered the background of the incident, we're now going to go over how the attack happened and what the ransomware did to an infected machine. So what actually happened? So as it turns out, there was an automated VSA update that had an authentication bypass vulnerability identified by this CVE number. What the vulnerability did was allow a threat actor access to the VSA servers, and the result, they could upload and execute any kind of malicious file to hosts managed by the VSA service remotely. And as such, this is an example of a supply chain ransomware attack because the hackers could leverage the compromised MSP servers running VSA to attack less secure businesses that are being managed by the VSA service. But what did the ransomware actually do? The ransomware was an encrypted file called agent.crt. The hacker would use VSA to execute a command disabling Windows Defender. It would then decrypt the agent.crt file and then execute the ransomware. As such, the ransomware would encrypt any sensitive or important files, change the desktop background on the computer, and it would display a ransom note for the victim to read. The ransom note consists of both a key and the website for them to upload the key and pay the ransom. So if they put the key into the website and decrypted the key, it would give them this page where it would give them a certain amount of time to pay the ransom, otherwise the ransom would increase, and as such, they could receive the decryption key once they paid the ransom. So to briefly conclude my presentation, Kaseya Limited, an IT software management company, was targeted by a Russian ransomware group called Revil, who managed to exploit an authentication bypass vulnerability in one of Kaseya's products called Virtual System Administrator, or VSA for short. As such, they managed to launch a supply chain ransomware attack to 800 to 1,500 different companies and organizations, and as such, Kaseya was forced to terminate their VSA service and shut down their SaaS servers as a precaution, forcing many businesses who were using these products and services to shut down as well. This has been one of the largest ransomware attacks ever recorded in history, as this caused gross damage to many businesses financially, caused international commendation to Russia for their failure to act quickly against these cyber criminals, and as such, led to a large-scale international manhunt for the perpetrators involved in this ransomware attack. So if you'd like to learn more about the Kaseya VSA ransomware attack, I've included all the references I used in my research. As you can see, there's a lot of source material that I went through, so feel free to look at it on your own time if you want to learn more about this ransomware attack. I hope you learned something interesting today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.